glasses and maybe has a handler.
Yeah.
But he has, I'm like,
that isn't his handler.
Dude,
That's his fucking girlfriend.
his
It's
girlfriend.
his mom,
She's like,
probably.
whoa.
I bet that's his
She's like,
mom.
whoa.
How do you girlfriend?
Didn't you see that big black guy that brought him in? Why would you do that?
Well, just saying, like someone a little on the handicap spectrum might like think that that's a reasonable reaction, and it's just like, boom, he just laid out this retard.
Oh, they do. They do.
They do.
My
do
wife's
that
brother is like 20-some years old. He's got the mentality of an 8-year-old. He fucking
Yeah,
like,
and we'll like just do some like shit
trying
where
to
she's like,
push
no,
my 13-year-old around and shit.
Oh,
You know
okay,
what I mean? Like, dude, you're twice your size. What the fuck's wrong with you?
yeah, not allowed.
Make me headbutt a tard.
It's a fucking great video though. Like some of those knockout videos. You remember
Should
that
get a
one
t-shirt
of
that
the
says
road
that.
cone hitting that chick in the road?
Yes,
God, that
I've
was
seen
satisfying.
that post. That one is fucking great, right? Isn't it though?
The time for it where it's like people are like, come on, and like whoever threw that road cone must have like felt like a god that night. Just
Exactly, dude. Exactly. Perfect fucking hit. So I got this story. When I was like 12 years old, we were fucking playing in the snow in my friend's yard, just fucking throwing snowballs at each other. And he's like, I'm gonna get on the swing, try to hit me. And I fucking get up. I for some reason made a huge ice ball, and I fucking threw it. And it's, dude, it was the perfect pitch. I don't know how to throw, but it just fucking connected with the
when
side
it
of his
needed to
face.
count. It counted.
Like hard as fuck. Like he had a huge welt on the side of his head and shit. I mean, I hit him hard, and I don't know why or how. It was just one of those perfect fucking throws. Just crack, fucking knocks him right off the swing and shit, dude.
That had to be satisfying.
It was, but I felt bad afterwards. I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah. So scusi. All right.
Anyway,
When are we going live?
We are live.
We already live, Doug. Yeah.
15
Already
minutes.
worked. All right.
We're in the shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this episode of the Red Eye Report,
Boys
we
and
discuss domestic violence. That age-old spontaneous boxing match where the only prizes are a ride to the jailhouse for the winner and PTSD for the loser. With us as usual
Wow.
is the invisible mystic. Working for the local news station.
Oh.
He's up. You don't have a webcam. People don't know what you look like.
Oh yeah, but
Can only make so many fat
Ugly.
jokes for a run his team. So, anyways, Mystic, working for the local news station, he's up to his neck in this impeachment shit, Iowa caucus shit, State of the Union shit. He's dying for another Kobe tragedy, like, you know, Tom Hanks fell into a meat slicer, or
No.
Oprah overdosed on bread,
How you
or
gonna-
Betty White
Overdosed on
asphyxiated
bread.
on a big black cock.
Not Betty White.
Yep.
yeah, man. Don't talk about the white, bro.
I wouldn't even be mad at that one though.
Right?
Asphyxiated on a big black cock. Good for her.
Yeah, at least she
No,
went
right?
out on a good
Sell
note.
that.
Yeah,
What?
right.
You're out doing what
Is
you
wrong
love.
with you people? This is one of the funniest old people ever.
I
I
know.
fucking love Betty White. Y'all eat a dick. Fuck y'all.
We know- Teddy, we know. Teddy, we know you love
You're
Betty
gonna-
White.
God
So-
damn it, you fucking assholes. You leave Betty White alone, you
All
bastards.
right.
Back
So-
the fuck up.
Been
Next-
Ashtray's dream to go out sucking a big black cock. So
Next to him, we have Teddy. So, Teddy, how was your date with Betty White?
You shut your goddamn dirty donkey dick licking cock holster. You understand me?
I love that you played right into it. I said, I love Betty White.
She's a nice lady.
She's under my bed because I killed her.
I would not kill
Oh.
Betty White. I'd be gentle.
all right, we're getting into the weeds here.
Yeah, right?
All
We're
right.
starting to get
To
into
my
your
left.
murder fantasies.
And to my left is Oracle. I was going to make a domestic violence joke about him because it's just so damn funny to watch his girlfriend beat the shit out of
Yeah, I
him
know,
with a
right?
family
She's so
size
tiny.
shampoo bottle.
She's so tiny, and she just beats
You know,
the
hits him
shit
with
out of
that big
Yeah.
bottle of Suave.
God damn.
Comes in throwing
That time-
haymakers.
Unbreakable plastic. Yeah,
Dude,
but
the
it's
time that
wrong.
she came flying into the frame was my favorite. It's just boom.
But it's wrong to make that kind of joke. And we all have to be part of the change.
Thanks, Ashtray.
And I'm your host, Ashtray.
Shit,
I'm the cis white male with absolutely no experience with domestic violence here to school you on domestic violence.
I still don't know what cis means. I don't.
What could go wrong?
I know what it means, but I don't get it. I don't get it.
It's like I think it's just like when you're a normal dude who likes women, yeah, you're cis. It's like it just sounds like some boil or something that has to
I
be
just like
Right?
being called a man. I don't get it.
Exactly.
Why can't I just be called a dude?
What happened to hetero white male?
I'm just a dude.
Yeah.
hetero-
Anyways, and this is the Red Eye Report.
As is another dude.
This guy's
All right.
another dude playing
So-
another dude.
A quick poll, and you don't have to answer this because it might be a little personal, but how often do you beat your wives? No.
Wow.
Do any of you have
Every
experience?
Sunday,
Like,
'cause I
like, did your
No.
parents ever, was there domestic violence in the family at all? I mean, from knowing you guys for this long, like, it would be a
Not my
surprise.
parents. My uncle
no.
threw my aunt through a plate glass window one
Holy
time, though.
shit.
Wow.
But in his defense, she came after him
dumb
with a
bitch.
knife.
Oh wow.
So like she was running at
Yeah.
him, and he moved, and she just kind of like
And right through
tripped
the-
her, but like
Yeah.
didn't really want to trip her that bad, and she just went right through it.
Mine
So
is nowhere near
like
that
that's
bad.
it. He got arrested, but it turned out that like he didn't get convicted of it because I mean
Did she also
admitted she
have-
admitted to being
Yeah.
crazy and trying to stab him, so kind of self defense.
Shit does happen.
But dude, I came in from playing one time, and my mother. I don't know if y'all family had the same thing, but most black families have a china cabinet you can't go near. You can't use under the china end. Don't ever touch or
Mhm.
break.
or
Yeah,
little
like I came in
knickknacks
from
and shit in there.
Well, no, ours was like the good plates and shit that we only
Ah.
brought out for parties or like shit like that. And I came in from playing, and my mother was emptying that motherfucker out, throwing it at my father at the wall, and
Oh,
he's ducking,
shit.
dodging.
Shit.
Oh damn!
Yeah.
You're like, this is real.
And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And she just, I'm like, you breaking all the good shit we ain't even supposed to touch. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And I'm like, and she's
Weird.
fucking chucking these motherfuckers.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
think this is one of the first times she found out he was cheating, and that's what I think it
Mhm.
was.
Oh,
But I was so
Yeah.
young, I didn't put two and two together. So yeah, that was the only kind of. But other than that, there was no violence in my family's household. No.
Yeah, none of
Oh,
mine.
other than
that
that, yeah.
Well, yeah, but it was. I mean, yeah, you can't.
There were a
you kinda
couple
couldn't
situations like that in my household too.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Like
sometimes
breaking
bitches-
dishes kind of situation.
Yeah.
Getting
My
heated.
My
I've-
mom throwing shit at my dad, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, women throw shit. My wife is throwing shit at me. I'm pretty sure Mystic's wife is throwing shit at him. Look, women throw shit.
Yeah,
What is up with this
pissed.
throwing shit, women? They
Well-
get pissed and throw shit. I get it.
No,
I
actually,
can turn
honestly,
the Xbox off.
I don't
Just
think
say
she ever
turn
has.
it off.
She's gotten so pissed that she won't talk to me, but she's never.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but
about the extent
yeah, but
of.
But that's not really a
Right.
punishment.
Of your, yeah. See, that's the thing too is I've even
I'm like, really? You see what I have here, right? This is
Yeah. even for like I guess I would have the closest I would get to what the CDC calls the intimate partner violence, which is like, of course, why you can't just say domestic violence. Anyways, it's the closest I would say is like psychological abuse,
Oh,
emotional.
sure.
abuse.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
But
there's plenty of
that's
that going
par
on.
for the course for pretty much any relationship. It's
right.
like
I've never-
that's a
never-
broad spectrum.
never really-
But yeah,
I am a
Oracle, you?
no drama kind of guy. I in a previous relationship, I had a girlfriend that was not afraid to fucking throw down. So
What'd you say, bitch? Bring it.
well, and that's when you're a no drama kind of person. You're kind of like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
yeah,
fuck?
well,
Yeah.
I was like smashing shit, and she's like fucking,
Well,
pissed
if
and
you're-
fucking punching
Oh,
me.
if
and
you were
shit.
smashing shit first,
If you're
well, then.
smashing shit,
That's
you're not a
then
no
you're already
drama
breaking the
kind of
no
guy.
drama kind
I mean,
of guy.
yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
well,
That
This
is
is-
hell.
this
Don't
is-
just
this
grab
is-
the drama.
this is why that relationship did not last. It lasted
Because
like a
you're
year.
Because you're a hypocrite. Is
Yeah,
it?
years a good
Watch
years a
out.
good run.
No, it was just I mean, she was too much like me in the fact that she wasn't gonna fucking back down. I
So
wasn't
you
gonna
both
back
escalated
down.
together?
Yeah, we both fucking escalated. It was like fucking grizzly
Dude,
bear
I say
fucking
I
attack.
say sorry. Just
Fighting
I
over
hope
a
my-
salmon and shit. Fucking two grizzlies.
I hope my
fighting over a
girlfriend's not
salmon,
watching right now. But
Instead, it's
I would do
fighting
a
about
heartfelt
who didn't
apology.
put the salmon back in the fridge.
Right?
Christ Almighty.
But
But
nothing
I-
ever like serious.
I was saying, I hope my girlfriend's not watching right now, but I apologize. I do a sincere apology just to get bitches to shut the fuck up so I can play Xbox. I mean, just say you're sorry. I'm like, I am so
Well,
sorry.
right? Well, that's the thing too. Is like you got to learn how to
Who cares? Who cares?
You can
what it was?
deflate
Yeah.
those things.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, at first I did.
Then he got old and bitter.
After a decade.
True.
After a
Yeah, I'm sure
decade,
after a while.
you're like, fuck you.
You're like, fuck you. Like you were just being a dumb bitch.
Right, yeah.
Doesn't
And
mean
that's
you
how
doesn't mean you should hit them.
Like,
And
we
that's
know
how
our
violence
roles.
starts.
Sometimes people need to be called out. So, like I was saying, the CDC, they define it as abuse or aggression that occurs either physical violence, sexual violence, stalking, psychological aggression, emotional abuse, and economic abuse. And that's
Yeah, I
one thing why.
That's for record. I don't like to call it stalking. I like to call it aggressively following. Okay. So we could-
All right, how's that working out for you?
It works out great.
Yeah. So the actually it's the economic abuse that it's a factor with a lot of the others, but it is what is primarily the factor why a lot of people will stay in abusive relationships, because it'll be like the scenario where they're boyfriend girlfriend renting a place together, or they have like shared a shared account where like they don't
Right.
have the means to easily just be like, fuck you, I'm gonna just disappear and get a hotel room till I can figure out what I'm gonna do next. So, and when you look up domestic violence statistics, it's interesting because like you'll see all kinds of numbers, and if you have any kind of understanding of how stats work, like those numbers usually have to be in relation to something to actually make sense. But sometimes it's just like, oh yeah,
It's a bird.
like here's this number. Like some of them I didn't write down because it's like, 380 million and some change had will experience sexual assault or sexual violence or physical violence in their lifetime, partner violence. Anyways, but that's all that number was, and it's like, well, what the fuck's that mean?
Well, yeah, how many fucking people live in the
380
United
million,
States?
Over the history of time, if you think about it, one thing that I learned, because domestic violence is as old as fucking sex, probably. There's the term rule of thumb.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what that means?
Yep.
No,
I did not know this.
Oh.
Apparently, this was kind of like a common law or rule, was that the authorities would allow that up into the 1800s, if you could beat your wife, so long as the stick you were using to beat them was no wider than your own thumb.
holy shit!
Yeah.
What?
Holy
Yep.
That
shit!
fuck?
Yep.
I
What
did
the
not know.
fuck?
That's what rule
That
of
is
thumb
the
means,
greatest thing I've ever heard.
right? You're like, hey, honey, look how big my thumbs are.
Right? Oh,
You fat fuck! You got bats for thumbs. That
I
ain't
could
fair.
kill someone with
Yeah,
that.
right?
Oh
You're
my
kicking
god!
like a shower curtain rod.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
really
it
fucked up.
is.
So, yeah,
I mean, I
like,
get it.
domestic violence has been around
You're just happy
know-
your wife didn't watch the show.
for
Right.
forever, and it's always been it's always been treated as like, well, that happens, that's in the private sector, if that happens behind closed doors, and like, for instance, there's some of the actual statistics that are pretty startling, even though we don't talk about this. I only brought it up because I got the story to share about my fucking Super Bowl weekend where I didn't even get to finish the game. Half of all female homicides are usually from a former or current male partner.
Wow.
Yeah,
Ass,
apparently you don't.
believe that,
If you watch Law and Order, you know that
Yeah, right. It's always the boyfriend.
the boyfriend or the husband are all the
Dun,
first
dun.
two motherfuckers they suspect, or a boyfriend, husband, or old husbands or boyfriends. They only go for the motherfuckers, and it's usually
You know
one of the
what?
motherfuckers who did it.
Probably 78% of that half deserved it.
Jesus Christ!
Right?
I'm kidding.
All our
That's
female
the-
listeners who are
That's the
probably
last time that bitch is gonna
zero.
burn Mystics
except for Teddy's
pancakes.
girlfriend.
What about Tim's girlfriend?
I'd say she's one of probably our only female viewers.
No, I've got my I got my sister watches and shit. And I'm pretty sure we have other female listeners, but yeah, they're gonna be pissed about this one.
Yeah.
But hey,
well, this is the thing too. It's like
we're
how
joking.
ingrained
We our women.
How long we've been beating women is that like it's ingrained in our culture so much that it's like, yeah, you can kind of joke about like, ha ha, yeah, dumb bitch.
I mean, there's a shirt that people wear named after it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it's
So let's see.
Gonna start yelling Rihanna.
Yeah, right.
Smack my wife.
3 women are murdered every day.
That cat's like put me the fuck down.
By a current or former partner.
3 women a day, huh?
3 women a day. Yep. About
step that up.
365. 4,774,000 women per year are assaulted by their intimate partner. About 40 to 45% of women in abusive relationships are also raped by that person.
Lovely.
Here's an interesting one. 50% of lesbian women who experience domestic violence will experience domestic violence in their lifetime. They say it's not always an intimate partner, which domestic violence does also include beating your kids. So could be a dad pissed off that his daughter, oh, hey, Bella.
So is dating a black guy? What the fuck? Spit it out.
No, I said like a dad will beat his daughter because she's a lesbian. Like that could be, it may not be that she's actually beat by another woman, but there are some mean motherfucking butch lesbians out there.
See,
and
I believe that.
I've heard of plenty of stories where it's like,
why are we bashing women tonight? What is
remember the soccer goalie on the U.S. team? I can't remember her name now.
Yeah.
She had a thing where she fucking beat her.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, she beat her partner.
Wait, the soccer player beat the shit out of her?
Yeah, Solo, that sounds right. Yeah. She's like the star goalie. Let's see here. 81%
very depressing subject
of stalked women. I know, right? But how often do we talk about it? 81% of stalked women are also physically abused by that partner. And it says that in 70%, or women are 70% more likely to be murdered in the week or two after they leave their partner, their abusive partner.
Really?
This clip, it was like an HBO. It was just a section of the HBO documentary about American violence, and part of it was about domestic violence. And they showed a clip where it was like it was kind of like one of those. I think it was one of those cheater shows. It was like in Mexico though, but like, it was like the news, the lady with the microphone and the camera are following the woman, as she's walking away. This is like outside in broad daylight. And all of a sudden her husband comes up behind her and just starts shooting her down right there on camera. It's like, that's a few times when it actually spills out into the public and you see it. Otherwise it's not talked about. And if you don't experience it in your own family, it's like, we've heard all these statistics, we know there's
after all this shit, you better have some hotline numbers ready for people.
Well, I will tell you, I did not grow up with it, but somebody that works with vulnerable populations in terms of education, it has been eye-opening to me to see how, especially when a woman will start to succeed in school, these fucking pieces of shit boyfriends will get jealous.
Yeah, get jealous because they're doing better than them. Yeah,
right. They're doing better than them, and they'll fucking beat the shit out of them and start stalking them. And this is something that I've seen multiple times because they just don't want them. They want to keep them, subservient. In the house, subservient. Yeah, and it's pathetic. I mean, it really is pathetic, and it is something that I have seen several times now. So that's something that I was not aware of. But it definitely happens.
If it wasn't for your position,
right, I wouldn't know about it.
You wouldn't even know about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know about it.
And
the number one crime in my county is domestic disputes. So
yeah,
it's
the shit gets real, and it gets real fast, because it's amplified by the fact it's not just like, oh, fucking drug deal gone bad, or like, my experience with fucking violence is like it's either a party or a bar or something when shit boils over between two idiots. But when these two people are in love, and even though like they may both know it's wrong, or just the woman, like when that shit boils over and that love factor's in there, like people kill motherfuckers over that shit. And so this Super Bowl,
yeah, my sisters have brothers. We all have our alibis set. You ever touch any of my sisters, you're not coming back.
All right. So this Super Bowl, I after hosting the meat raffle at the bar,
always starts at the meat raffle.
Long time friend, yeah, right. Starts at the meat raffle.
You gotta put that plug in there. You're beating your wife, and we want you to stop. And hey, come to the meat raffle first.
A friend who I've known for probably at least, I don't know, 6 or 7 years, and her asshole boyfriend, who I actually don't really know much at all, other than just you hear the stories, right? They've been on and off for like the last year, 2 years. And
snowing outside. Holy shit.
All of a sudden, like as I'm cleaning up, he's like laying into her. Granted, it's loud, everybody's watching the Super Bowl, but like he's chewing her ass out about the fact that she ordered a burger and didn't make sure he was there to order food with her, even though she had asked,
order your goddamn
do you want to eat anything? Yeah. And it's just like, fuck this shit, blah, blah, blah. It's like you hear it in earshot, and it's like out in public, and you're kind of like, well, that don't seem right, It's like, well, I'm moving along, doing my thing. Well, he had stormed off, and she was, you could tell she was really upset and talking with another friend who was there. So the two of us kind of consoling her and being like, listen, we all know that that this shit is wrong. Like, we've all seen it for a while now, and like we can't tell you when it's going to be the right time to like this has got to end, but it'll come at some point. And so then I'm like, okay, oh, my nachos are ready, like my food order comes out, and I sit down, I'm like, my nachos, like, all right, got done consoling a friend.
Bitch.
Yeah, and
game's on, nachos here.
And then my other friend, who was out having a smoke with her, she comes up to me, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes later, and she's like, is she with you? I'm like, no, I thought she was with you. She's like, no, I can't find her. I think she left. And then like within minutes on Facebook was this photo of like all her shit strewn out on the fucking muddy lawn, because the weather's been outside their apartment.
Because he threw it out?
Oh yeah, the boyfriend was throwing all her stuff out.
Over a burger, bro?
Yep, exactly.
Jesus
she's also a
straw that broke the camel's back.
She's got a whole like sewing studio and stuff. Reams of fabric. It's like her good fabric and shit is just getting thrown out in the mud. And so she put this post like, if anybody is available, can you please come and help me pick my shit up and move immediately. And so she had actually almost like 10 to 12 people, like, boom. We all
were they were they all guys?
No, it was probably about 50-50.
Okay. I'm guessing like all dudes. I got a place you can stay right here. Come on.
Yeah,
come on.
You dudes want the fucker.
It's okay, baby.
Yeah, right. He's so right. No, so there you
go. That was nice.
Well, not only that, it was cool to see, because even like because I didn't know where she lived, I knew roughly it was like by the Glass Nickel Pizzeria. And so like I'm driving around looking for a domestic dispute, but like usually that shit's happening indoors. You don't know, like and, so
driving around looking for a domestic
Did you not like messenger to see where she lived at so she didn't have to?
Well, she was too busy to respond to me, but I'm messaging also my other friend who was with me at the bar where we were both like, where did she go?
This just sounded like you weren't as close a friend as you thought you might have been to this chick.
Well,
let him tell the damn story, Teddy.
Yeah. So let's just say she's a longtime bar friend. She sells my lighter. She used to, anyways, for years. And so right away, the guy's like, oh, calling the cops, who are these people, because there's like a fucking dozen people out there with vehicles ready to fucking come in, pack this bitch out. And he, so he calls the cops. And by the time like I get there, we're waiting for the cops to come. And it's like, all right, cool. That's all the better that the cops come and like neutralize the situation. Mm-hmm. And like we can just get
I'm black. I'll be back when the cops leave.
So I right away I'm like, I'm gonna go get boxes. I left the scene, come back with a bunch of boxes. And that by that time they're like, yep, well he told the cops he's gonna stay in the basement while we help her pack her stuff up and help her move out, and he's gonna stay out of the way. Well, of course he doesn't stay out of the way. What's he do? He comes upstairs. And then he starts opening up the kitchen cabinets, and he's like, oh, he just starts pulling stuff out. Kadoosh, kadoosh, just dropping it on the floor. And, she's like, Tommy was his name. I'll use his name.
Well, who fucking cares? He still got to live there. He got to clean it up.
Well, no. I mean, some of this stuff's like her stuff, or it's just like he's just being a fucking dick.
Right. I get it. He's been a like, fucking baby. I get that, yeah.
He's like, no. I fully support you. I'm just trying to help you leave.
Wow.
Man. Dick. And like, of course,
I would have beat the shit
dudes
out
who
of
are there.
I mean, really, yeah, a good way to get him out of the way is to put him in a hospital.
Right.
Why don't you just pee on him?
Just waiting for a chance.
Should have just peed in his butthole.
That's awesome. Travis just asked, where did you get all the boxes? And I was going to ask the same thing. Where does one just go find boxes?
Based at the bar, of course.
At
liquor
night,
boxes?
Like, okay. All right.
I got probably...
That's cool.
7. Anyways, so yeah, we're just itching for a reason. And at first I start laying my
gave you a reason.
My trademark well, he gave me a reason to punch him, but that doesn't necessarily give me a reason to get out of it later since the cops were already called.
Yeah.
And I had some weed on me, and
yeah, probably a good
which
move.
I actually didn't think about until like after the cops were
you're
called.
level-headed.
So yeah. I use my, trademark ashtray snark on him.
That's why he really left to get the boxes because the cops was coming. He had weed on him. Smart move.
No, actually, at that time, I didn't even think about it. It was still all in my back pocket. But I was using my patented ashtray snark on him, and of course, that wasn't going very far at all. I was just antagonizing him. Yeah.
I mean, really, you're annoying little shit.
So then I'm like, all right, yeah, you know, I can fucking get under your skin. Ask you patronizing questions. So then I'm like, you know what, this ain't gonna work. Like, this guy's still just breaking shit. And so then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna switch gears to the full prison therapist.
What?
Where do you get prison therapist from?
All right. No,
where is the story going?
We're back on the sex fantasies.
I don't want to hear this.
Yeah, no, there's no sex fantasy involved. But no, it's more like where you actually you take this person when you realize that you can't rationalize with them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
In their anger, and it's
right, that's what hospitals are for.
Did you grab him, one hand on each cheek, stare directly into his eyes, and say, "It's not your fault"? Tommy, it's not your fault.
Close enough in the sense that I guess I described it as feeling like I just became this big black sponge to soak up his negative energy. Because I'm like, let's go back down the basement. Grabbed some fucking silo beers, some tall boys from the fridge. And we go down and drink beers, and I just start asking him questions, what got you so mad? And, he's like, shit, man, all her endeavors, I've been there for her, man. I've been fucking supporting her this whole time. Mind you, this guy is kind of he's like a 30-something, punk rocker dude who's still he doesn't have his shit together. He's got his guitar and drums in the basement, and
So you disarmed the situation.
Yeah. So I just like let him talk and like gave him no, even like when naturally you want to be like, dude, that's fucking like, that's dumb. Do you see how that doesn't make any sense? You have to bite your tongue and just like let him get it out. And then, so yeah, eventually I got him to where he's like, dude, man,
you're my best friend, bro.
No, he's like, you're the only one. You're the only one that gets me. Like, all right, bro.
The best thing you could have done is to take her out and fuck her after that, and call him and say, "Yeah, man, I see why you left her."
Send him a video.
Send him the video. So then, see why you left her.
He gets like he goes back upstairs, and like as soon as he would get away from me, like soaking up his hurt. Butthurt white boy energy. He started throwing shit. Like I showed you that like picture of that broken LCD TV. Like took her TV.
Yeah.
And then he grabbed got a full on
video games or my TV and it's off. I don't give a fuck what it is. Break my video games and my TV. It's over.
And the thing is, she had her camera out because the cops had already been called once. So she had her cell phone camera out, and she's like, they're both yelling. He's calling her cunt, and like, we're all just trying to be like, all right, fucking calm the fuck down. Nobody needs to get hurt here. I take him back down to the basement and, do my whole, like, fucking listening to his butthurt thing again, like, have a beer.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really, Doug. At that point, right. I mean, really, Doug.
Well, the thing is, at that point, though, the cops had been called already again. Like, the cops were on their way already.
Probably would have just killed the guy.
For a second time. So
dragged him to the bottom of the Atlantic.
Occupied in the basement.
Yeah.
And
he left. He left, officer.
Yeah, right. He was really distraught. I don't know.
He should have happened.
Ran away.
He and then the cops come down to the basement. It's just me and him. They're like, I'm here holding a side like fucking tall boy. And
I smell weed.
Another one. And no, actually, me and like trying to, being like my like kind of calm, friendly Midwestern demeanor. I'm like, hi, my name's Craig. Like, put my hand out, and the cop is like, I'm not shaking your hand. I'm like, oh, shit. And so he's like, so what's the problem here?
A white dude would try to shake a cop's hand.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
That's how we don't get shot.
See, if we try, that's how we do get shot. It's not fucking fair.
I know.
Maybe that's what's been happening every time. Fucking every black dude that's been
hand, dude.
Shot. See a dark hand. It's a gun. I'm like, no, bro, it's not a pistol. It's 5 fingers.
It's
how you doing?
Fucking hands.
He's gonna pull out my safety wallet. He's got a gun.
So right away, he's like, "Oh no, I've been down here the whole time because I told you." And these weren't the same cops. But they had already talked with the cops who were there the first time. We got the lowdown that okay, this is the second call.
But doesn't she have him on? Doesn't she have him on tape, destroying her TV and shit?
Yeah,
yeah. So,
I mean, whether or not they had watched the tape yet or not, because like they had came up. I think right away they're just like, let's find who's the perpetrator here. Like they went downstairs where we were at, and. So he's like, no, I've just been down here the whole time with my homeboy pointing at me.
Oh, my God.
I didn't want to get arrested. I know. I'm like, oh, Christ. And then his backup officer kind of reaches around the main officer and like taps me on the shoulder. He's like, you want to come with me? And so like, yep. So he like takes me to the stairwell to the basement. He's like, so yeah, can you tell me what happened? I'm like, yeah, he's completely full of shit. Like he went back up there and started breaking shit and stuff. And I was with him the whole time. I just managed to get him back down here again and try to just like diffuse him so he stopped breaking shit.
And by the way, I'm not his boy.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I'm like nobody's homeboy.
I don't know this motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm like, he's not my friend. I got him down here. And so, gave my statement and my information, and then like while one cop was keeping me occupied, the main cop who snubbed me came back upstairs, and he was like, yeah, he's like, this is surprising. He's like, I've never seen actually this kind of an immediate turnout for a friend in this kind of a situation. And then he told me, he's like, just so you know, he's like, I wasn't trying to be rude to you down there, but in coming down, like, I'm not taking anybody's side. And it's like, yeah, okay, it makes sense. And then, yeah, like just, what was nice is like, while I was like, the fucking, hostage negotiator or prison psychologist, I didn't have to do any packing.
Where did you learn this hostage negotiating or prisoner psychiatry?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
You're equating highly skilled people with you talking to some drunk dude in a basement.
Who was acting like a little bitch anyway.
It's just a matter. I've been told I should have went to school to be a mediator, but man, that's a lot of schooling.
Nobody has told you that. Nobody fucking told you that. Stop fucking lying.
Anyway, well, yeah, my friends when I came upstairs, they're like, "Oh shit!" She was like, "Oh my god!" She gave me a hug. She's like, we were listening to you from upstairs, and like the way you steered that conversation, she's like, I didn't know you knew how to speak incel so well. I was like, all you got to do is just pretend like you're, a butthurt white boy, but like,
oh, man.
But it's real. Like all your little trifle problems, like you just got to like, I guess, acknowledge his spitfire, and even though it's not valid, like you pretend it so it like dissipates out and he doesn't start breaking shit again.
You got a lot closer to her naked quicker. We would just knocked his ass out.
Maybe. But like I said,
you would end up in jail, but it's cool.
I had drugs on me, and I had been drinking, and I got out of there. Anyways, the cop. Well, once the reason I left was because they packed shit in my vehicle already for me, so I was ready to go. And also, the officer was like, "Just so you guys know, like he's not staying here tonight. We've got people on the way." And
so he did get arrested. So
yeah, fully arrested. So I wasn't there for the arrest because I also had all my equipment from the meat raffle prior to the Super Bowl was still at Baldwin because I was in the middle of watching the Super Bowl when this went down.
So you didn't see the thrilling end then? You didn't see the fourth quarter?
I missed all that.
Yep, he was too busy fucking negotiating.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. You left the scene after the cops saw you drinking a tall boy.
Yep.
In your car.
No, I wasn't drinking a tall boy in my car. But yeah, I didn't.
No, I'm saying, but he saw you drinking.
Yep.
He's just like, that's cool.
It's Wisconsin. Come on.
It wasn't like
right. I also. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's just Madison. It's like, man.
Yeah, it's Wisconsin. Well, and the thing is too is you could tell like
slurring, so
in Madison a lot of their work, outside of like, sure, teenagers fucking stealing cars and going on joyrides is being kind of like social workers in these kind of situations, whether it be the domestic kind or like homeless people who need to be calmed down.
Walk cops will shoot a motherfucker. That's what they do.
Yeah, right.
No, yeah. Yeah. No, in Madison, they kind of come down, like, what's going on? All right.
Them motherfuckers headbutting you.
Yeah, I know, right? They'd be like, "Hi, officer, he's moving towards me." Yeah, right.
Fucking take your kneecaps out.
We haven't shot a white boy in a while.
I just remembered.
I guess they did. The cops did ask where I went later, because friends later on told me like, "Yeah, you might get called by them because they were wondering where you're at." And I'm like, "Well, I told them I was moving shit." It's just like, just left.
I just remembered I was involved with.
I had drugs on me. I had
domestic violence incident when I was like
just
16. My buddy, I was over at his house and his mom was getting beat up. Ooh. And we were sitting in his bedroom drinking booze that we had stolen from the grocery store. And so the situation escalated and I ended up beating the shit out of his dad.
No shit. Yeah. No shit. I can't believe you forgot that story.
Did both of y'all do it?
I'd brag about that.
No, I mean it was kind of weird and awkward afterwards.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
I mean, yeah, you punched my dad. Well, yeah, he punched your mom. What do you want me to do?
It's a narrative where you are like a fucking hero.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was drunk and like fucking just raging out.
You also were you a football player then?
No, I didn't play on the football team, but I was lifting a lot of weights and shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I forgot about that one.
So did the what happened?
Sure.
Did the cops get called or
No, the cops didn't get called.
how did it end then?
I fucking
beat
beat
the
the
shit
fuck out of
man.
him.
Just
Nice.
fucking punch me.
Then you just leave. You're just like, all right, he stopped. I'm gonna go home now.
I don't know.
Make sure he doesn't choke on his own blood and vomit.
I think at that time I was actually kicked out of high school, and I was not staying.
I didn't realize
home.
what a vagrant rebel you were.
Shit, here,
right?
Jesus Christ!
All kinds of new stories are unfolding here. We'll have the
Now
whole
I'm a
episode.
fucking teacher.
Yeah, this sheds a light.
Yeah,
It does. I mean,
yeah, especially with the bath
bath
salts.
Yeah,
Right?
Shit. Wow. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, we're at 40
All
minutes.
right, we're gonna move along. That was our main topic.
Yeah.
I hope it was at least entertaining, if not too full of accurate things. Anyways, moving on to what's sexy. We've got Teddy, Altered Carbon Season 2.
Altered Carbon Season 2 is set to start off sometime in February. I think it's February 22nd. I think it's during the 20s of February, which is the last week of February.
They're in the 20s.
They're in the 20s. I can't remember the exact date. If you haven't seen Season 1, it's an awesome show. It's you follow a guy called Takashi Kovacs. This season, Anthony Mackie is playing him. He's the guy who played the Falcon in the movies in the Marvel.
Different actor this time.
Yeah, and the reason it's a different actor is because in this world, they found how to transfer human consciousness in something called a sleeve. So, like, if you die,
it's a great plot device to not have to worry about expensive actors.
Yep.
You can back up your conscience to the sleeve, and if you die, they can just put a new sleeve in. You upload to a new sleeve and put it in somebody else's, a new person's body, and that's the bodies are called the sleeves. I forget what the little things are called, but discs, I think. But yeah, but it's a cool concept, cool show. I mean, it's
weird as shit.
Oh yeah, it is a weird ass
show. I mean, I would definitely recommend checking it. It's on Netflix. Season 1 was awesome. My favorite part about Season 1 was the hotel, and that's because the hotel was run by an AI. It was really fucking. It was really awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, check it out.
Defensive capabilities.
That hotel, yeah. Just definitely check it out. It's an awesome show. I'm looking, and I'm with you. I kind of hope the first guy who played it was the guy who played the RoboCop. I forget his name.
Yeah, I liked him a lot in that.
Yeah, it is a lot of action sequences. So so I'm kind of but it's
that guy.
I'm excited.
That actor was really good in The Killing. You've never seen that.
The Killing. What was that one about? This sounds familiar though.
It was about two Seattle detectives.
Man, it doesn't.
It was one of the few shows. There's not too many shows that can do this, but they used Seattle almost as a main character. Like you felt like you were there because of the way that they fucking shot that shit. It was a really cool, well-made show, and it had a twist at the end of Season 2 that I didn't see coming, and it was fucking amazing. Amazes.
When was this show?
Mid
2000s.
Yeah.
Recently,
a decade by now, probably.
Yeah.
It only had two. It had 3 seasons.
Motherfuckers.
It had 2 seasons on AMC, I think, or something, and then they canceled it, and then Netflix bought it and had a 3rd season.
Travis says that he was in House of Cards as well.
Oh yeah. He was his opponent. Yeah. His presidential opponent.
The thing with that show with Altered Carbon was it was kind of hard at times to keep track of what was going on because you can switch fucking bodies.
You can't switch bodies.
Yeah.
So like,
it's like
I think of the voice. Well,
there are certain times where he was talking to the same person.
Like,
but in
put a fucking
bodies,
name tag on.
Oh shit.
Hello, my name is main character.
That's why you gotta watch with the subtitles.
Moving on to Oracle, Back from the Dead.
Back from the Dead. So this mummy that is 3,000 years old, that was in Thebes, Nesiamun,
the monk,
a priest. They recently reconstructed this guy or this mummy's vocal tract So they did
What?
all these scans, like CT scans and shit, and it's a mummy, so it's fucking preserved pretty well.
Right. So his
And
vocal cords are probably like little thin strips of beef jerky.
yeah, well, anyway, they recreated it, and then they 3D printed like a fucking larynx and everything, and they ran some fucking some sort of stimulus and maybe some air or whatever, and they say that they have a recreation of his voice.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a stretch. It's an interpretation of what they think his voice will be.
Right. Hey, I think that's fucking amazing that you could even possibly
Yeah, you know,
get
It's a cool
fucking-
experiment.
Fucking pretty
You
cool.
know, no, it's
Fuck,
not a
I'd
cool
write a
experiment.
grant for
this shit. They did this shit in Jurassic Park 3 when they made a cast of the
I'd write
Velociraptor
a
vocal thing.
grant for it.
I'd write a grant for it. Yeah, whatever.
In Jurassic Park 3, they made a cast of the Velociraptor vocal
But Raptors,
cord.
like,
I did
vocal,
not.
it's like
You know, I
a
don't think I've
little
actually
vocal-
seen the third one.
little vocal
just heard
like
it
it
suck
makes
shit.
it the thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Was that the
I
one
was a
with
big Michael.
Vince Vaughn?
No, that was the No, you're thinking Vincent D'Onofrio.
No. Vince Vaughn was in Jurassic Park 3. Almost
Was he?
positive.
Oh, yeah, like way back in the day, right? Like late 90s.
Yeah.
Was
What?
Broke up there, Teddy.
What?
That sounded like to
see.
me.
That's the
Let's
mummy
see.
sound.
Yeah, right. That was how he sounded.
What?
Obviously.
yeah, my shit fucked
Right.
up.
Well, they spoke with hieroglyphics, so what can you say? All right, moving along. Mystic, Lamb of God.
Yeah, they have a new song. It's your normal Lamb of God. You know what I mean? Nothing too great.
Yeah, right. There you go.
I like it.
Not too
the video
sexy.
is cool. The video is cool. I don't
Not
know if
too
we had
fucked, you
the
think?
link to it.
Yeah, we got the link.
So yeah, the video I think is the coolest part of it, but it isn't anything new. I guess it's kind of like how I feel about the new Tool album. I'm happy that it's here because I like the music that they create. I'd like to see something different, but I'm just happy that it's here, I guess. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
like Lamb of God.
Yeah, they're still.
And they're ripping on Trump a lot too. They have a link to
What's
the
it
lyrics.
called?
So,
This
checkmate.
Checkmate.
Yeah, well, and the thing about Lamb of God is there are no metal bands that sound like Lamb of God. I mean, if you
Right.
know metal and sure, if you're like somebody on the outside that doesn't listen to heavy metal, you could be like, oh yeah, well, heavy metal bands sound the same. And there are no bands that have that Lamb of God sound. They have a very specific sound where you would know it right away if it was them. So fuck, they're doing it, and I don't think that same thing can be said for all other bands. I think there are bands out there that do not have that unique of a sound. So if you're a Tool or if you're a Lamb of God, then fuck, why switch it up? Why not try to do anything else?
So I became a goat. Go to hell. All right.
Oh,
Moving on to Ashtray. Lambs, goats.
I don't
Anyways.
know what the fuck.
You're not on the same plane as me. It's okay. What's sexy?
guess, yeah.
Ashtray.
Jesus Christ!
And I never thought I'd say it, but I find Mitt Romney sexy because of all the Republicans, maybe he really is, and granted he is Mormon, but maybe he really is the only one who's really his faith is that strong. And like he said in his speech that he gave, even though knowing that he's going to get backlash and maybe
Dude, that fucker's
won't win re-election,
again.
but you know
Just
what?
wait.
He won't fucking care. Yeah, I never thought about that, but he probably
Just
will.
watch. Just watch. He's going to announce sometime in the next month or two that he's running against Donald
Oh
Trump.
yeah.
No,
Oh, yeah,
I don't think he's
he's
going to run
totally-
against Trump. He ain't going to run against Trump. He's rich enough. He don't need to fucking cause that shitstorm. He's just
yeah, but he got
actually
beat by-
though is
if he got
on
beat by a black,
principle
he
voting
thinks
his
he got
conscience.
beat by a black guy. He can't get beat by this guy. Trust me, he thinks he's got it this time.
I doubt it. I doubt he
Alright.
goes.
All right.
Because he
this
didn't go in
sounds like
2016, did he?
Maybe a bet, a wager.
He didn't run in 2016, did he?
No.
I don't.
Exactly, because he lost in 2012.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't think it's too late too to like all of a sudden throw.
No,
He's got
he
so much
couldn't-
money, he don't need a fuck.
Well, yeah.
It's not like the thing is the RNC wouldn't get behind him. People are like, yeah, he's gonna run
Michael
against him.
Bloomberg really wanted Donald Trump to lose, or any really rich Democrat, all they'd have to do is fund someone like Mitt Romney to run against him. You throw
they can
Romney's money and their money into it, and they just start fucking. It don't matter if they run it; they can run as independent. These people are fucking. They're gonna filter off enough votes that it won't matter what the Democrats do. They will win.
That's the thing is
they're not united enough to fucking pull something like that off.
That's the problem with the Democratic Party is it's such a big tent. You got a lot of smaller factions and groups who get pissed off and butthurt.
Yeah.
And that
is true. It's like Republicans are just, you know.
Well, I was recently heard, you know, and it's an interesting perspective, but this author was talking about how like in the early ages, you know, like what you worshipped was religion, you know, and you focused around the church. And then like when you had the Greatest Generation, like during then it was like it was kind of everybody worshipped the country in that war, you know. And his theory now is that today it's like who we worship, because we're so interconnected, is we now worship the victim.
Who's the victim?
Well, in general, like you've got where people, it's like anyone like can start to air their grievance, you know, and it can go viral. And because we're also, as a collective society, starting to really understand how we had kept a lot of motherfucker people down. And so we're more sensitive to these transgressions against minorities and women. But that in and of itself becomes almost like his theory, mind you, is that because that is now who we worship. It's like as soon as someone's like, oh my God, this happened. And it's like we all go to that victim in a sense that we want to see justice for all the victims that have been. It's an interesting.
So what the hell what does that have to do with anything?
It doesn't. He just wanted to talk. It has nothing to do with that.
It's a philosophical thing about.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I did lose you halfway.
All right.
Jesus Christ! He just wanted to fucking talk. I got shit to do.
Talking about
Mitt Romney. We're talking about Mitt Romney, bro. The movie. Right, moving on. Who's next?
Fucking John Glenn.
You know what? You can blame Travis. I had one of his gummies. Fucking
damn it.
My brain is
I'm gonna keep the head
it's a snowball rather than a straight line. All right, fuck what you think. Mystic, difference of opinion.
All right, well, sticking with the Romney thing. So last night, I don't know if you guys saw the speeches that the Republicans and everybody gave before they voted.
No.
In Romney's speech, he like choked up. Did you see that soundbite? So
no.
Okay, so he chokes up, and it's a 12-second pause.
That's a long pause.
Unless you're watching it, you don't know that he was just collecting his fucking emotions, right? So our political reporter put that in the package that he ran at 6. So it's running, and I'm not really watching. I'm just listening, and it starts to pause, and after about 4 or 5 seconds,
kind of like, what's going on?
I look up and I thought that our broadcast had frozen. I'm like, oh. And then like he starts talking. I'm like, oh, fuck, he's still fucking. I'm like, why are they letting this run? So like afterward, the fucking.
But it's effective.
Because they were right outside my bay door. The fucks, because our whole political reporter and one of the photographers sits in the fucking a little area right. And our cubicles or bays that we can close the doors to them sit around the edges, so I can see all this shit. And I opened my door, and the the photographer's like, "Oh, I thought that was really cool. It was really emotional, you know, blah blah blah." And Jason, the political guy, goes, "What did you think?" And I was like, "Honestly, I thought it was a little too long." Like, I thought it froze. Honestly, when I was looking, and I'm like, it took the pacing of the package from like, you know, a good pace to hitting a Mitt Romney-sized wall. And
Right.
he like laughed, and he's
But
like,
that's the
"Oh,
point.
okay, well, we'll take it out." And we couldn't cover it with anything because all they give you for news outlets is like 2 wide shots of the fucking Senate chamber and the overview one, John Roberts. So it's like, what are you going to
Can't
cover
fill it
it
up
with?
with other things.
And so like it's either you leave it on there or you don't. So he took it out, and then so fucking like, I don't know, half an hour later, Ted, who is like our main anchor, been doing this for like 30 years, comes back and he's like, "Oh, hey, I thought that soundbite from Romney was really good." He's like, "It was really emotional and blah blah blah," and like just all this shit. And I was like, "Oh, fuck me." So like he
So you had to
leaves,
put
and
it
I'm
back in.
like, I was like, "Jason, you should probably listen to Ted over me."
Yeah.
Because, you know, he knows what the fuck's going on. I'm like, I personally think that it fucks the pacing up.
You're thinking of the video and not so much the content.
Exactly. I was thinking of it from the, you know, from like
From a
the
design
editor's
perspective,
because I would have never left that in, but that's just from, you know, whatever. So I put it back in, but what I did is I raised up the nats. I kind of fudged it. I took natural sound from like the broadcast and like put it behind it so you could hear Romney like rustling around. So I raised that up during that 12 seconds, and then I put like a slow push onto his face, like zoom in.
Oh, nice.
So that like if somebody
like
was watching it,
drop bass.
Well, so yeah, focus on that.
right.
You know, that Mormon dilemma.
Well, that way, if somebody isn't watching it and they look up, they're not going to think it's frozen because he's just standing there with his head down.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, okay. Oh, it's moving. He's still fucking being emotional. So I think it fixed it.
Yeah.
But whatever.
You got a link to that?
You did a great job, buddy.
No.
Moving on.
Hear that clip. All right. Moving on. Ashtray. Bring up this video, Oracle, please.
All right.
You know what this reminds me of? Wasn't it Half-Life 2, where there's these fucking little drones that fly around?
The things that
there's a lot
of
games,
razor blade things.
They had cameras on them.
Yeah.
They would also just like check up, basically keep an eye on you. That's what this feels like. They're using in China. They're using drones and flying over what's the name of the province that is under lockdown? Wuhan. Yeah.
Wushu force.
Wushu.
Wuhan's the
that's
city.
Racist. So they're basically using drones. Like, look at this old lady. She's like, "What the fuck? Who's saying that?" Oh, they're flying over with drones that have loudspeakers on them, and basically they're like, "Hey, put your face mask on. Go home. Wash your hands. Put your face mask on." And she's probably just like, she's, you know, that old. She's just like, "What the fuck is this?"
She's like, "Dude, I am out
like,
here
I'm
looking
an old
for
Chinese
that.
lady.
I'm
I used to
97.
live in a village, you know, 10, 15 years ago. You know, she's like, I now just got to finally live into a city.
Yeah.
It's just
Probably thinks the robots are invading.
It's crazy, but that is, you know, shit, another 20 years, and that'll be probably a common reality.
Yeah, another 20 years they'll have loudspeakers.
As long as our economic system doesn't drive us into the Stone Age.
Another 20 years, we're not going to be here, dude. This shit's going to kill us. Coronavirus or bust.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Next, moving on.
All right, moving on to Teddy halftime show.
Awesome. So I haven't watched a halftime show in years, like since before fucking Janet Jackson's titty popped out. It was our thing. We watched because I'm not a big fan of the halftime shit. I don't.
You didn't even watch the Prince one?
No, I didn't. I mean, we watch other shit. I go do something.
Look that one up. That's probably
we do something else.
Tom Petty was good too.
I've been hearing a lot of shit from customers at the restaurant, fucking on Facebook and everything else about people, for one, women being upset because they were too sexy. I mean, these women are what 40 something in the late 40s and 50s. I know J-Lo's 50. I don't know how old Shakira is.
40,
and then bitches still look. I mean, I mean, yeah, I mean these women still look good, and and then they got to talking about the kids and shit. If you won't take your kids to see a concert that these people are doing, and you're if they were giving a free concert and you got tickets, would you give one to your 6-year-old or 12-year-old kid to take with them? If you would not, why would you let them watch the halftime show? I'm like, I do get it that it's on TV and everything else. But
what would they do if they went to the game? Would they cover their eyes when the cheerleaders were out there?
And there's one guy, Dave Duback or whatever. He's from this. He has this show, Pass the Salt type shit. He's trying to find a way to sue the NFL because he feels like that they endangered his chance of getting into heaven.
The thing is, these people live in
areas all over his TV or what?
Because you got a hard on watching two chicks that wear white dance. I don't know.
The thing is, these people live in areas where women don't know how to move hips like that.
Right? They do not.
Those little Shakira, like,
dude. There's every man has one. Every man has one.
When you're with women who can do that,
right? Jesus Christ!
It's like crack. Literally.
I don't understand these people who whine about shows that have people kissing. Well, there's gay people kissing. Well, stop watching the goddamn show. Like when we started doing this show, the guy we were doing the radio part of it. The guy who would be on Facebook talking about how we cuss too much and all this other shit, but he listens to the whole fucking hour of the show. Like, just stop fucking listening. I don't get.
Please,
you can take.
It's not like we're on network television.
It's not. Right. It's not. We're not come breaking in your house like taping your eyelids open and forcing you to watch shit.
Keep it up, and we will.
Yeah, look at that.
I mean,
damn.
Wait, is that a possibility? Like, is that an option? I mean, I just feel like if we get in front of the right eyeballs, it could take off.
Take off, yeah. Take off.
Right. Moving along. Oracle XFL.
I guess the XFL is coming back.
It is.
Yeah, buddy. Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
2 o'clock.
Who's behind it this time?
Same people.
Vince McMahon.
Ed McMahon.
Yeah.
Publishers Clearinghouse presents the XFL.
All right. So anyway, I'm like, oh, that's interesting that the XFL is coming back. And then I start reading about it, and they're just like, oh, this isn't your crazy uncle's XFL. A more sober league dedicated to football, not gimmicks, starts up this weekend. And it's like, what the fuck?
So what is it? Just supposed to be like an alternative, like a minor league?
A crappier version of the
It's supposed to be a football league. I mean, it's
it's all the dudes who couldn't make it in the NFL.
Dude, there's a lot of talented dudes out there.
Yeah, out there that could make it in the NFL. I mean, have you ever watched 30 for 30 on the first one?
So make it fucking interesting and fucking have them doing fucking roids and showing titties.
But it is.
You know what's cool? Have you seen Ice Cube's?
But it is interesting. Listen, hold up. You gotta. Have you seen the rules? There are no field goals. You know what I'm saying? After a kick, after you score, you have to shoot 3 options to go for an extra point, and none of them include a kick. There's a double forward pass. I mean, they got a lot of weird. I put the shit up in the Western End. They got a lot of weird shit that are trying to bring more action to the game. I mean, it is going to be different than football, but it is going to be football. They have different rules and shit.
When Vince McMahon, the guy that fucking runs the WWE, is the fucking owner, I want to see some fucking crazy ass shit.
Yeah, I want to see some titties.
I'm pretty sure they're going to have the provocative shots they had for the last time. I mean, it's not going to be fucking.
Apparently not, according to the guy who did the fucking sober, interview.
Family friendly.
Yeah.
I think it's just bullshit. I mean, come on, make it crazy.
If you guys seen Ice Cube's basketball show, it's like 3-on-3 or something. It's called.
Big Three.
Yeah. It's like kind of a take on half court.
It's horrible.
It is very horrible. I mean, yeah, like Lamar Odom plays in that league. It's horrible. It's a bunch of old dudes.
They should just
is it like people who are retired and can't give up the dream?
Has been.
I'm talking about Greg Oden. Greg Oden plays in the league.
They should just infect the losing team with coronavirus on that.
Right? So they'll always be champions.
Nobody really wins anything. It's just the last place team.
Dude, I'm gonna look up these rules and send them to you here in just a minute. Watch.
That's actually how some premier football or soccer clubs in Europe operate. Like if you lose for like 2 straight years, you lose your license to
Like, you
be
get
in that
dissolved.
fucking club. Yeah. And shit. Like you gotta suck.
Kind of like you're a business that failed.
Yeah, like you don't really win shit. I mean, the winner does, but you're just kind of playing to not be like,
Dead
dissolved.
So the XFL, I watched a little bit when it was out, 19 years ago or whatever. But wasn't it like fucking NFL blitz shit? Didn't they have like rules?
They had rules for fuck's sake. Jesus Christ, man.
They had rules.
Can't play a game with no rules. People would be shooting each other.
He hate me.
Yeah, that's right.
He hate me.
All right. So, in all seriousness, go fuck yourself, Des Moines, Iowa. That's our show.
My in-laws, they cool. I love them.
We're gonna be here, mostly the political Democratic Party there. We're gonna be here every Wednesday or Thursday night, 10 p.m.
We're gonna be here every Thursday night until further notice because people have to work on these.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
God damn.
All right, every Thursday. I didn't change it. I'll change it in the fucking outline. Doing it right now.
There you go. There you go, Oracle. I'll put that in it for you. Watch that shit.
That up
Tell
there.
me what you think.
Do THR. No, wait. UR. Day.
You're the premiere
Doing it
show
right now.
where you get to listen to fucking Ashtray try to spell Thursday after drinking fucking 3 whiskeys.
Yeah. Make sure you join our conversation at theredeyereport.com or facebook.com/redeyereport. You can also twiddle us at the redeye_report, which we may never do it anymore.
Yeah.
Like us, share,
do
fuck us.
do Twitter for fuck's sake.
Teddy does every 6 months.
Teddy, get us on Black Twitter.
Okay, I'll get us on Black Twitter.
Yeah,
I got these crazy white folks I talk to. I gotta check these niggas out.
So yeah, like us, share. So fuck us, we're down for whatever, because I'm Ashtray.
I'm Oracle.
I missed it. I guess I'll go next. Whatever, man.
Yeah, dog, it's February. I get the last laugh, motherfuckers.
Oh yeah,
shit.
Black Appreciation Month.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah, I was trying to be nice. Let you go fucking before me.
No, I'm last. I want the last words.
Shit. Whatever, dude.
Take it, buddy. It's all yours.
Happy Black History Month. Go on shaking the brother's hand. Don't try to rob him. Don't turn him into the police. Also, do y'all remember y'all homework assignment coming up here in 2 weeks?
Yep.
Yeah, I already got mine.
Prep, man.
Do you know?
Oh shit! What was the assignment? Remind me.
Too late, bitch. Oh my fucking god!
You need to research.
I got 2 actually. I got one that's really interesting.
Some black person that has done good
You throw
things.
these ideas at me when I'm completely inebriated, and
That
I don't
we don't
have an
all know
assistant.
about.
Fucking completely inebriated. So when the fuck are we supposed to? 7:30 in the morning when you get up?
Yeah, pretty much. All right, a black person who was cool.
Yeah.
Right,
that
but not well
about.
known. Not well known, though. It can't be
From your area, though.
It doesn't have to be from your area. You said you're
okay.
You said you're doing your area because your wife does it. And she's doing it for you anyway. So
no, she didn't. I did my own research, which amount 5 minutes before I laid down the other day on my phone. So.
That's awesome. She knows a lot of black people. Way to go.
Boom. All right.
Yeah, that's the Red Eye Report, motherfuckers.
Right. See ya.
Talk about one month.